In the strongest battlegrounds, there's a lot of characters who have really strong attacks. But the question is, who is the strongest? In today's video, I'm going to be testing every single move for every single moveset and be ranking them on this tier list based on how much damage they do. So we got all these categories over here. So we got the overpowered tier, the power tier, decent, okay, and we got weak. All right, so the first character that we're going to be starting off with is Saitama. And the first move that we have for Saitama is the normal punch. So let me go up to the dummy real quick and use the normal punch. There we go. And let's go ahead and see how much damage that did. All right, so it looks like the weakest dummy has about 69% HP left, and that is about 31% damage. So in terms of the normal punch, it's going to be going in the okay tier, which is 21 to 45% damage. The next move that we have is the consecutive punches. So let me go ahead and use this one. There we go. And it looks like the dummy has about 85. What? Wait, why did he just go invisible? What? But yeah, as you guys can see, he has 85.5% HP remaining, which is about 14.5% damage. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that is not a lot of damage, bro. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak tier. All right, the next move that we have is the shove. Boom, there we go. Let's go ahead and see the damage on that one. And this one looks about 6 point... Why does he keep going invisible, bro? But yeah, the damage for this move is about 6.9%. So the shove move is also going to be going into the weak category. And the next move that we have is the uppercut. So let me go ahead and do this. There we go. Let's go ahead and see the damage. And it looks like it did about 15%, which is also going to be going in the weak category. Oh my god. And yeah, I feel like the only thing that is going to save Saitama on this tier list is his ultimate mode, because obviously, as you guys know, every single ultimate mode for Saitama is a one-shot, one-kill move. All right, the first move that we have is the death counter. Let me go ahead and pop this. There we go. We got the attacking weakest dummy with the death counter. Bro, this looks so fire, bro. So let's go ahead and hit him with the death counter. Come on, and boom, there we go. He is, sir. And the weakest dummy is immediately dead. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty much a no-brainer. We're gonna go ahead and put that in the overpowered. All right, the next move that we have is the table flip. Let me go ahead and use this one. And yeah, I'm pretty sure every single move for Saitama is a one-shot, one-kill, bro. So boom, there we go. We got him with that as well. And yup, the weakest dummy is dead. So table flip is also gonna be going in the overpowered tier. Next up, we got the serious punch. Bro, stop doing that, bro. Let me go ahead and use the serious punch on the weakest dummy real quick. And I'm pretty sure this one is one-shot too. Boom, there we go. Oh my god. Wait, did he die? Yep, there we go. He just respawned. So yeah, serious punch is also overpowered tier. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even need to test the omnidirectional punch, bro. Everybody already knows this is also a one-shot, one-kill move. So yeah, every single Saitama ultimate move is overpowered. All right, so now I'm gonna be moving down a slot. And the next character that we have is Garou, otherwise known as the Hero Hunter. And the first move that we have for Garou is the flowing water. Let me go ahead and use this. And by the way, fun fact, Garou is actually my favorite character in this game, bro. And it looks like the weakest dummy has about 75.5% HP remaining, and if we do the quick maths real quick, that is about like 24.5% damage. And yeah, that's actually pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and put the flowing water in the okay tier. And next up, we got the lethal whirlwind stream. So boom, there we go. Okay, and it looks like this move did about 18.5% damage, which is going to be going in the weak category as well. The next move that we have is the hunter's grasp. But let me go ahead and use this, and then we throw the dummy. Let's go ahead and check out the damage, and 90.7% left remaining. That is about 9.3% damage, which I'm not gonna lie is pretty trash, bro. 9% damage is crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak category as well. Last but not least, for his base form, we got the praise peril. Let me go ahead and hit bro with the praise peril, and bop, there we go. And oh, okay, that actually did some pretty decent damage. As you guys can see, the praise peril does about 22%. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the okay tier. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the ultimate mode. Let's go ahead and pop this ultimate awakening animation real quick. And the ultimate awakening actually does some damage as well, but technically it's not a move. All right, the first move that we have is the water stream cutting fist. Let me go ahead and use this. Ooh, okay, that's some pretty decent damage. That is about 26.3% damage for the first move. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the okay tier as well. All right, next up, we got the final hunt. And bro, this one better do a lot of damage, bro. It's like one of the strongest moves for Garou. So let me go up to the weakest dummy, use the final hunt, and boom, there we go. Oh my god, 31% HP left remaining. That is about 69% damage. I don't know what's with this game and like the number 69, bro. But we're gonna go ahead and put the final hunt in the decent tier. It actually almost got into the power tier. That's actually pretty crazy. All right, next up, we got the rock splitting fist. Let me go ahead and do this. Boom, there we go. Let's check out the damage. And it looks like that does about 37.8% damage. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the okay category as well. And by the way, guys, make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe. It took me so long, like, you know, trying to get every single move onto this tier list, bro. I literally did not touch grass for like the past last 5 hours, bro. So make sure to like the video and subscribe if you have not already. But anyways, the last and final move that we have is the crushed rock. Let's go ahead and use this and smack bro into the ground. And the cool thing about this move, it actually has 2 different variations. So it looks like the normal variation does about 27% damage. And to use the second variation, you gotta get like up close and personal with the dummy, bro. Like you gotta get really close and then use the crushed rock. And as you guys can see, this is the variation. Ooh, okay. All right. And then we smack bro in the face and then we like dash like that. And oh my god, wait, that actually did more damage than the other variation. So as you guys can see, this one does about 30% damage. So we're gonna go ahead and use this one. 30% is still in the okay category. So we're gonna go ahead and put that right there. All right, so the next moveset that we're gonna be using is still Garou, but another form of Garou, and that is the monster form. All right, so the first move that we have is the Doom Dive, and this one can actually be used like 3 times. So boom, there we go. We hit all 3 of them. Let's go ahead and check out the damage. And it looks like that only did about 12.6% damage, which is kind of buns. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak category. All right, next up, we got the Crowd Busters. Let's go ahead and use this and grab the weakest dummy. Boom, boom, and boom. There we go. And this one does about 18% as well. So far, every single move has been in the weak category. Well, let's see if the third move could actually break that cycle. So this one does have 2 variations. The first variation is this one. Let's go ahead and see the damage of that. I don't think this one does a lot. Yeah, that's only 9%, bro. And the second variation is the jumping one. So let me go ahead and do this. And then we throw bro on the ground. Let's go ahead and see the damage. And it looks like this one does about 17%, which is still going to be going in the weak category. All right, last but not least, we got the Binding Cloth. Let me go ahead and use this one. Okay, yo, that's pretty fire. And this one only does 13 as well. Oh my god, every single move has been in the weak category so far. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one over here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the ultimate mode. So let me go ahead and pop this ultimate mode real quick. Bro, that is so tough, bro. Oh my god, that is actually one of the coolest ultimate awakening animations yet. All right, so unfortunately, we only have 1 ultimate move for this character because the last time they updated this game was like 6 or 7 months ago. All right, but anyways, let me go ahead and test out the move real quick. Hopefully this move does some pretty decent damage. Oh my god, bro, it's so clean, bro. Look at this. Holy, bro, that is actually beautiful. Oh my goodness. And oh my god, that actually does some pretty decent damage. As you guys can see, it looks like this move does about 47%, which is also going to be going inside of the decent category. All right, the next character that we're going to be using is down a slot. So that is going to be Genos, otherwise known as the Destructive Cyborg. All right, the first move that we have is the Machine Gun Blows. There we go. Okay. And oh my god, hold on. That actually did some pretty decent damage. So I believe that is about 20.8% damage, which barely puts him in the weak category. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna round that up, bro. All right, we're gonna put that in the okay tier, okay? Let's just say it was 21, bro. 20.8. Just rounded it up, okay? All right, next up, we got the Ignition Burst. So let me go ahead and use this. Boom, there we go. Let's check out the damage real quick. And it looks like this move does about 13%. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak category right there. All right, the next move that we have is the Blitz Shot. And the cool thing about this moveset that I feel like a lot of people don't know is the longer you hold the Blitz Shot, the more damage it does because you like charge it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and charge it all the way to like the very max and then shoot the Blitz Shot. Let's go ahead and see the damage. And oh my god, wait, hold on. That's actually some pretty decent damage. That's about 25%. Bro, Genos actually does a ton of damage, bro. Oh my god. All right, the next move that we have is the Jet Dive, which is the last move for his base form. Boom, there we go. We hit him with the Jet Dive. That does about 20% as well, which is at the borderline of weak and okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak category because it was at 20. And now it is time for Genos' ultimate mode. So there we go. We went ahead and popped the ultimate mode real quick. And by the way, in the next update, I'm like pretty sure they're going to be updating the, you know, ultimate awakening animation for Genos. So guys, you heard it here first. When the update drops, like Genos' ultimate awakening animation is going to look amazing. All right, but anyways, the first move that we have is the Thunder Kick. Let me go ahead and use this. There we go. We teleport. Oh my god, we teleported so far. And it looks like that move did about 41%. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that is going to be going in the okay tier as well. All right, the next move that we have is the Speed Blitz Drop Kick. Let me go ahead and use this. We go up in the sky, drop down like that. Let's see the damage, and it looks like that one also does about the same. So this one does about 49% damage, which is going to be going in the decent tier. Dude, I'm surprised no move has went in the power tier yet. Hey, maybe this next move for Genos might be going in that category. So let me just go over here, use the Flame Wave Cannon, and like so. Okay, we got all of the flame on him, and this one does about 34.2% damage, which is going to be going inside of the okay tier as well. All right, last but not least, we have the Incinerate. And the way Incinerate works is the closer they are to you, the more damage that you do. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get as close as to the dummy as I possibly could. Oh my god, okay, I think that's a little too close. So let me go ahead and use the incinerate. Oh my god, that's literally perfect, bro. That is literally perfect. There we go. Incinerate at point blank. Oh my god, look at his HP. Oh my god, wait, is he gonna die? The weakest dummy has 31.1% HP left remaining, which is about 68.9% damage, bro. So this move is also gonna be going in the decent tier. Dude, it was so close to going into the power tier, bro. Just a little bit more damage, it would have went into this tier. All right, but anyways, the next character that we have after Genos is Deadly Ninja, which is Speedo Sound Sonic. All right, the first move that we have for Sonic is the Flash Strike. So let me go and do this. Boom, there we go. Let's check out the damage, and it looks like it does about 15%. So obviously, this is going to be going in the weak category. All right, the next move that we have is the Whirlwind Kick. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. All right. And that one does about 12%, which is also going to be going in the weak category. And by the way, guys, fun fact, I think Speedo Sound Sonic is one of the only characters in the game that got nerfed so many times, bro. If I'm not wrong, I think Speedo Sound Sonic got nerfed 5 different times in this game, bro. They've been nerfing this guy like back to back to back, bro. All right, next up, we got the Scatter. Let me go ahead and use this, and let's see the damage on that one. Oh my god, that is not good. That is about 16.3% damage, which is also going to be going into the weak category as well. All right, next up, we got the Explosive Shuriken. Boom, there we go. That is the first variation. That one does about 15. And hypothetically speaking, if I do a jumping version, does that do more? Hypothetically speaking, if I do a jumping version, does that do more? And okay, it does less. Okay, I think the first version did a 15, and 15 is still going to be going into the weak category. All right, now it is time for the ultimate mode. And his ultimate mode is called Can You Even See Me? Is that a John Cena reference, bro? And the first move that we have is the Twin Blade Rush. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, one thing I've been noticing about Sonic is he doesn't really do a lot of damage, bro. I feel like Sonic is one of the only characters in the game that barely does any damage. All right, that move right there did about 39%, which is gonna be going into the okay category. All right, next up, we got Straight On. Let me go ahead and use that. There we go. That did about 30% as well. All right, this is also gonna be going in the okay category as well. All right, the next move that we have is the Carnage. Let me go ahead and use that. How did I miss that? All right, let me try that one more time, and boom, there we go. We use the Carnage right over there, which does about 17.5% damage, which is going to be going in the weak tier, and that's kind of crazy, a ultimate move going in the weak tier. All right, last but not least, we get the fourfold Flash Strike. So let me go ahead and use this move right over here. Boom, there we go, and let's go ahead and see the damage on this one. And okay, I think this one is like the most damaging one. The damage comes to a whopping 35% damage. Oh my god, that is horrible. So ladies and gentlemen, it looks like this one is going to be going in the okay tier as well, and none of the Sonic moves goes over the okay tier, bro. Like that is kind of crazy, dude. But hopefully the next character could. And the next character that we have is Brutal Demon, otherwise known as Metal Bat. All right, the first move that we have is the Home Run. Boom, there we go. Let's go ahead and see the damage on the Home Run. It looks like it does about 15%. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the weak category. All right, the next move that we have is the Beatdown. Let's go ahead and see the damage on this one. There we go. And it looks like this move does about 16.3% damage, which is also going to be going in the weak category as well. All right, next up, we got the Grand Slam, and this one has 2 variations, so we're going to go and test out both of them. So that right there is the first variation, which does about 17%, and the second variation is like a jumping... How do I do this? I think I gotta M1 him. Yeah, you have to M1 him. Oh my god. All right, so 4 M1s does about 15% damage. So if I actually go ahead and do 4 M1s and then use the move, let's go ahead and see how much damage it does now. All right, it's about 11.1% damage for the second variation, which is kind of buns. So yeah, the first variation did about 17, so that's the one that we're gonna use, which is still gonna be going in the weak category. All right, next up, we got the Foul Ball. So let me go ahead and use this one. This one also has 2 variations as well. So the first variation does about 15 as well, and the second variation is the one where you have to like get close to them like this, and then you hit them in the ground, smack them with your bat, and this one does about 13.1. So the first variation did more damage. So we're gonna be putting this in the weak category as well. Oh my god, every single move was in the weak category. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like his ultimate mode is gonna make up for that. So there we go, just smacked myself in the head and killed a bunch of brain cells. And the first move that we have is the Savage Tornado. So let me go ahead and use this one. Yeah, this one should do some pretty decent damage, man. So he's in the sky, and boom, there we go, he hit the floor. And it looks like this move does about 23.5% damage, which is going to be going inside of the okay tier. All right, next up, we got the Brutal Beatdown. So let me go ahead and use this move real quick, and I think this one should do some pretty decent damage, bro. So as long as we hit every single hit and then land the jump at the very end, Boom, there we go. It does about 50% damage, which is actually pretty decent. And it quite literally does go in the decent tier. All right, the next move that we have is the strength difference. Let me go ahead and use this, and boom, there we go. We turn around, smack bro with the bat. There we go, bro. This move is so fire. It looks like the damage is about 65%. Oh my god, that's actually really good. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the decent tier as well. It was actually pretty close to going into the power tier. But the next move, ladies and gentlemen, is the death blow. And by the way, some of these one-shot moves that we have actually do a little bit more than, 100 damage. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But anyways, let's go ahead and use the death blow. And obviously, as you guys know, the death blow is a one-shot, one-kill move. So let's go ahead and go behind the weakest dummy. Bro, this move is so clean, bro. I remember the first day they added this to the game, it was so hype, bro. So boom, there we go. The weakest dummy is now dead. It wouldn't really make sense to add another tier where like there's damage more than 100 because in the game, the maximum health that you have is 100. But yeah, anyways, death blow is going to be going into the overpowered tier. Let's go ahead and move on to the next character. And the next character that we have is Atomic Samurai, with the first move being the quick slice. Let me go ahead and use that real quick. There we go. And the damage for this move is about 18.3% damage, which is going to be going into the weak category as well. All right, move number 2, Atmos Cleave. Let me go ahead and use this one. There we go. Let's see the damage on this one. And oh my god, is that the same exact damage? That is literally the same exact damage. So this one is also 18.3% damage, which is also going to be going into the weak category. The next move that we have has 2 variations. So let's go ahead and use the first one, which is this one over here. There we go. And that one does about 15%. And the second variation is a jumping one. So boom, there we go. Let's see that one. And that one does, that one does more. This one does about 17.5% damage, which still is going to be going into the weak tier. All right, last but not least, for his base form, we got the split second counter. There we go. We hit bro with the counter, and that does about 10% only. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting the counter to do a lot more damage, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, but now it's time for his ultimate mode. Boom, there we go. That is so clean, dude. All right, the first move that we have is the sunset. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm pretty sure this does a lot of damage, bro. This has to do a lot of damage. Come on now. Yes sir, there we go. And as you guys can see, this move does about 62.9, which is pretty good. So 62.9 is going to be going inside of the decent category, and we still don't have anything in the power category. All right, next up we got the solar cleave. So we dash at the person with the sword and we hit him. I'm pretty sure that doesn't do a lot. Yeah, that only does about 29%, which is gonna be going into the okay tier. All right, next up we got the sunrise. So let's go ahead and use this. Boom, there we go. I'm pretty sure this is a cutscene. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That is so clean, bro. And we hit him with the final strike. There we go. Let's see the damage on that one. And it looks like the damage on this move is about 46.6% damage, which barely made it into the decent tier, bro. Oh my god, that's actually kind of crazy. All right, last but not least, we got the atomic slash. So let's go ahead and do this one. I'm pretty sure this one is a one-shot, one-kill. And I'm pretty sure it also does a little bit more than 100 damage, bro. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Some moves actually do a little bit more than 100, like this one right here. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the overpowered category because it was a one-shot, one-kill type of move. All right, now let's go ahead and move down another slot, and the next character that we have is Tatsumaki, otherwise known as the Wild Psychic. All right, the first move that we have is the Crushing Pull. So this is the first variation. You just pull them towards you and smack them into the ground, and that does about 13%. And the second variation is where you go into the sky and then smack them into the ground, and this one only does about 7. So yeah, both variations of the move is gonna be in the weak category. All right, next up we got the Windstorm Fury. So there we go. Let's go ahead and use that one, and he lands into the ground, and that one only does about 7.9. Bro, what are these damages, bro? That is horrible. All right, next up we got the Stone Coffin. Let's go ahead and use this one, and then they come out towards you. This one does about 11.7, which is still pretty horrible, I'm not gonna lie. And last but not least, for Tatsumaki's base form, we got the Expulsive Push. There we go. Let's see the damage on that one, and this one does about 12.5% damage, which is gonna be going in the weak category as well. All right, but now it's time for the ultimate mode. So let me go ahead and pop my ultimate mode real quick, mate. You know what I'm saying, mate? Let's go ahead and pop this real quick. There we go. Bro, that is so clean. And the first move that we have for Tatsumaki's ultimate mode is the Cosmic Strike. So we're gonna go in the air, summon a meteor from outer space. Bro, look at that meteor. And boom, there we go. Oh my god, that actually did some pretty decent damage, I think. And it looks like this move does about 52.3% damage, which is gonna be going into the decent tier. All right, next up, we got the Psychic Ricochet. And bro, this move reminds me like of a mini version of the omnidirectional punch, bro. Like, look at that. Tell me that does not remind you of the omnidirectional punch. And yeah, this move does about 40.5% damage, which is gonna be going into the okay tier. All right, next up, we got the terrible tornado. And this one, I'm pretty sure is like close to being a one-shot move, bro. I think this low-key might be going into the power tier, bro. It has to be into the power tier. Come on. So we go ahead and punch the weakest dummy. We crack his skull. Oh my goodness, bro. And then we slam him into the ground. We got a big tornado effect. Yep, look at that damage. Look at that damage. Bro, he has 5.3% HP left remaining. That is about 94.7% damage. And oh my god, this is going to be going into overpowered. I thought it would have went into powered, but it's actually going to be going into the overpowered one. All right, last but not least, we got the Sky Snatcher. So let's go ahead and use this. And we grab the weakest dummy and then smack him back into the floor. And it looks like this one does about 27%, which is going to be going into the okay tier. All right, the next character that we have is Siru. Let's go ahead and use the first move, which is the Bullet Barrage. There we go. Let's go ahead and see the damage on this one. Let me get closer. And it looks like this one actually does some pretty decent damage. So it comes about 16%, which is still going to be going into the weak tier. All right, next up, we got the Vanishing Kick. So boom, and then we teleport to him like so. Let's see the damage. And it looks like it does about 19.5. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in the weak as well. It was actually really close to going into the okay, but it is what it is. All right, next up, we got the Whirlwind Drop. Boom, there we go. Let's see the damage on that move. That one does about 12%, which is going to be going into the weak category. All right, last but not least, for his base form, we got the head first. So we go into the sky, spin around like a tornado, smack bro into the ground. Let's see the damage. And it looks like it does about 17.5% damage, which is going to be going into the weak category as well. All right, but now it is time for the ultimate mode. And bro, this ultimate like animation is so cool, bro. Like look at that dragon right there, man. That is beautiful. All right, the first move that we have is the Grand Fissure. Let's go ahead and use this one, and boom, there we go. And wait, I'm pretty sure we could actually like hit him twice with the rock. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the one. And that's the one. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And as you guys can see now, it does about 50% damage, bro. Like compare that to like the first hit, it does like a lot more. All right, so 50% damage is gonna be going into the decent tier. All right, next up, we got the Twin Fangs. Let's go ahead and use this move. All right, nice little calm move. Okay, and then we'll smack him away. Yes, sir. And this one does about 40% damage. So 40% is gonna be going into the okay tier. All right, next up, we got the Earth Splitting Strike. This one is actually a cutscene move. So, bro, you can't really hate on a cutscene move, bro. Like, look how clean this is, man. And this is actually so clean. So we smack him like that, and then we send him across the map. All right, so it looks like this move does about 61% damage, which is actually really good. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the decent tier as well. All right, last but not least, we got the Last Breath, and I'm pretty sure this one is close to being one shot, if I'm not wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the weakest dummy. Oh my god, bro, this is so peak, bro. Holy! And now, yeah, the dragon is right there. We smack him with this. You guys saw the skull right there? Oh my god, Bro, that was so clean. Wait, the weakest... Oh, no, he's all the way over there. What the hell? As you guys can see, he has about 15% HP left remaining, which is about 85% damage. And that is going to be going into the Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, it's going to be going into the power tier. The power tier is 71 to 85, and that was exactly 85. So we're going to put that in the power tier. Oh, my God. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move down another slot. And the next character that we have is the Tech Prodigy. The first move that we have is the Web Boom. And this one spawns in a little spider that, like, explodes. And it looks like this move does about 16.5, which is going to be going into the weak category. The next move that we have is the Plasma Cannon. So let's go ahead and use this one, and boom, there we go. Let's see the damage. This one does about 22.1, which is going to be going inside of the okay tier. But if you guys did not know, if you actually get a finisher with the Plasma Cannon, it actually gives you another move. So if I actually go ahead and turn on the finishers only, and then use the Plasma Cannon, so let me go ahead and use that real quick. As you guys can see, we got this really cool like finisher, and you're gonna notice that we now have a new move called the Railgun. All right, so let me go ahead and use the Railgun real quick. So we pull this out, and now we shoot the Railgun. Let's see the damage on that. Okay, he actually got flung pretty far. All right, so it looks like it does about 45.9% damage, which is gonna be going into the decent tier. All right, the next move that we have is the Trinity Tear, and this one actually does have a variation as well. So let's go ahead and see the first variation damage, and let's see the damage. It does about 20%, and the second variation is like a jumping one. So if I come over here and then use the Trinity Tear, let's go ahead and see the damage on that. And it looks like that one does about 12. So yeah, the first one does a little bit more damage. And it's like borderline weak and okay. So it was 20. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the weak category. And oh my god, I actually almost forgot. If you actually get a kill with the finisher for Trinity Tear as well, it actually gives you another move too. There we go. We get the finisher on him. It's gonna be giving me another move for the third move. Yeah, right there. Tactical Storm. So let me go ahead and see how much damage this one does. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Oh, ooh, yo, why is it like not stopping, bro? Okay. It looks like it does about 19.7, which is still gonna be going in the weak category. So yeah, I don't even think we need to add that onto the list, bro. All right, last but not least, we got the Twin Burst. So let's go ahead and use I just missed. Oh my god. Yeah, if you guys cannot tell, I don't really use this moveset too often, but it looks like it does about 17.2% damage, which is gonna be going in the weak category. All right, but anyways, it is now time for the ultimate mode for this character. So we're gonna go ahead and use our jetpack, and robot is now assembling, and that is so fire. But what is not fire is the fact that they took over a year to finish this character, and it's not even done yet, bro. I don't know why I said that. It's still not done. It's been over a year and it's still not done. But anyways, we only have one move, and the one move that we have is the Photon Edge. Let me go ahead and use that. Let's see the damage on this move. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. And then we do that, and then we smack him, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there we go. And let's see the damage, and it does about 50.8% damage, which is gonna be going into the decent tier. All right, the next character that we have is KJ, and this one's gonna be pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure it's all gonna be one-shot, one-kill moves for his ultimate mode. But guys, if you have not already, make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe, and let's go ahead and see if KJ is gonna be one of the best, strongest movesets. So the first move that we have is the Ravage. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. We punch him a bunch of times, and then we kick him away. It looks like the damage is about 25.5, which is going to be going into the okay tier. All right, next up, we got the Swift Sweep. All right, pretty simple move, I'm not going to lie. And this one does about 13.9, I'm pretty sure. So this one goes into the weak category. All right, next up, we got the Collateral Ruin. So let's go ahead and use that one. There we go. Let's see the damage. And it does about 15%. So this one also goes into the weak category as well. All right, the last move is a counter move. So we're going to go ahead and use this, the Spiraling Storm. And we throw bro away, and I don't think that did a lot of damage. Let me see. Oh, it actually kind of did 15%. Okay, that's pretty good. So this one is going to be going into the weak category as well. All right, but now it is time for the ultimate mode. Let's go ahead and pop our KJ ultimate mode, bro. This is so fire, bro. All right, the first move that we have is the Stoic Bomb. Let's go ahead and do this, and let's see the damage on this one. I'm pretty sure it's a one-shot, one-kill. Oh my goodness. Yup, he just instantly died. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in the overpowered tier as well. All right, the next move that we have is the 20-20-20-20 dropkick. Let's go ahead and use this one, and I'm pretty sure this one is also one shot, one kill. Wait, I'm pretty sure every single KJ move is one shot, one kill, bro. Like just like Saitama. So boom, there we go. We hit bro with a 20-20-20-20 dropkick. Yes, sir. And now we go ahead and hit him away. Oh my god, bro, that is so clean. Look at his body. So yeah, 20-20-20 dropkick is also going to be going in the overpowered tier. All right, next up, we got the 5 seasons. So we're gonna go ahead and go into the sky like this. This is like one of my favorite KJ moves, bro. This has to be one of my favorite ever KJ moves in the game. So we're gonna go and do this. We're gonna aim right over there. I think that's a good spot to use it. Perfect. And now we go in the sky, use the 5 seasons, and bro, check that out, bro. Check that out. Oh my goodness. And yup, he's dead. One shot, one kill with that one as well. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the overpowered tier. All right, last but not least, we got the unlimited flex works, and I'm pretty sure this is one shot as well, bro. Everybody knows that this is one shot, okay? It's pretty obvious. So as you guys can see, we got this little like amazing cutscene, bro. I have not seen this in a very long time, bro. Holy, it's been so long I've never seen this. Unlimited flex works. All right, we got this really cool cutscene. Okay, bro, this is so peak, bro. Oh my goodness, bro, this is when the strongest Battlegrounds was at its prime, bro. We need to bring this back, man. We need TSV back in this prime, bro. But yeah, anyways, this move is also a one-shot, one-kill move, so we're gonna put that in the overpowered tier. And now it is time for the last and final character, which is none other than the man himself, Gojo. So yeah, the first move that we have is Repost, which is his red. So yeah, this is yep, he just instantly one-shots them. So this is gonna be... Wait, why did we have an Infinity move, bro? Okay, Infinity doesn't really do anything, so I'm gonna put that in the weak tier. That's literally just... Yeah, that's literally nothing. So red is gonna be going into the overpowered. The next move that we have is the Erase, which is actually the Hollow Purple. So we got blue, we got red, mix them together, and let's go ahead and shoot out the Hollow Purple. Okay, we just and mix them together. We got the hollow purple, and we're gonna go ahead and shoot that real quick. And yup, that is also a one-shot, one-kill move. And we're gonna go ahead and put this in the overpowered as well. All right, the next move that we have is the blue, which is called attract. So let's go ahead and use this. And yup, as you guys can see, we got the blue here. Oh my god, bro, this is so cool. And they just like get sucked into the thing and they just die. So yeah, this one is also a one-shot, one-kill move. And let's go ahead and put that right there. And you're gonna notice that we got one move left on the tier list. So you're probably wondering, Floaty, why do you have two different attract moves, which is the blue? And the reason why I have that is because this move actually has two variations. So the first variation is the one that we used, and if I actually go ahead and turn off my infinity and then use the blue, you're gonna notice that it does this. I'm pretty sure I just kind of missed it, but it still does some pretty decent damage. All right, let's try that again. Okay, there we go. That was perfect. That was perfect. And now we use the final blow. Oh, he dies. Wait, that's one shot as well? Bro, there is no way every single Gojo move is one shot, one kill, bro. That is actually insane. But anyways, boys, this is the final tier list from the weakest to the strongest moves in the strongest battlegrounds. And once again, guys, it took so long to do this, bro. So make sure to like the video and subscribe. And I feel like this was actually pretty cool to do because once the update drops, a lot of different characters are going to be getting revamped. Some might be getting stronger, some may be getting weaker. There's going to be new characters, new moves and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool like comparing it to this right now before the update, so we could do like a before and after comparison when the update actually does drop. And speaking of when the update is going to be dropping, if you guys want to stay up to date with all the information about the strongest battlegrounds and when the update is dropping, I'm your guy, okay? So make sure to like the video and subscribe to stay notified for everything that happens with the strongest battlegrounds. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.